What's up, people of the world? My name is Jay, and welcome to Sleight of Hand 101. So for this trick, I'm going to riffle down the side of the pack like this, and I just want you to call stop as I go down at some point. Right there? Excellent. We'll go ahead and take the card that you've chosen from the center, the Queen of Hearts. We'll actually leave the Queen back in the center of the deck, and we'll push that in. And just to clarify that your card is in the center, we'll go ahead and give it a nice shuffle, and we'll give it a good fancy cut here, just to prove to you that your card is lost somewhere in the center of the deck. Now, my goal is to try and find your card. So let's actually use the top card. This isn't your card, but we're gonna use this card to find your card. Ready? What we're gonna do is we're gonna just give it a little flick, and you'll see we have found your card, the Queen of Hearts. Let's see how that's done. Welcome to the tutorial for the snap change. Now, before we get into the actual learning of the change itself, I ask that you learn a few prerequisites before we get started. The first of which is a double lift. If you do not know how to perform a double lift, I ask that you click the video at the top of the screen right over there. Now, the next part is a riffle shuffle of some sort, whether that's in your hands or on the table. If you'd like to learn the in the hands riffle shuffle, I will have a video right there that you can click. Now, the next part is optional. You do not need to know these things, but if you'd like to enhance the quality of your trick, you can also learn a false cut. Now, I have two false cuts on my channel, the first of which is the swivel cut flourish. Now, if you'd like to learn that one, the video is at the bottom, and if you'd like to learn the Sybil cut, go ahead and click the video at the top of the screen. So learn those things, come back, and we'll get started. Welcome back. Now let's get started on the actual tutorial. So the first part of the trick is to perform a double lift of some sort. So you'll tell your spectator, I'm going to riffle down the side of the pack like so, and all I want you to do is to say stop whenever you feel it's necessary. So you're gonna riffle down, they're gonna say stop, and something I like to do that I've been doing more often is I'm asking them, are you sure you wanna be here? Because they might say no, and they might go down a little bit further or a little bit further, and the point of that is to reassure your spectator or your audience that they are in control of this trick when clearly they're not. So you're gonna riffle down, you're gonna say, are you sure? You're gonna say yes. You're gonna go ahead and perform your double lift, okay? If you don't know how to perform a double lift from inside the deck, you can always perform just a double lift from the top and just saying, okay, let's use the top card. That's actually a triple lift, but let's say it was a double lift here. You say, this will be your card, the Two of Spades, okay? You're gonna put, obviously not their card, back in the center of the deck, just like so, leaving their card, the Two of Spades, on the top of the deck. Now at this point, you're going to perform your in the hands riffle shuffle. And the way you're gonna do this while still controlling their card on top is obviously leaving their card on top. It's actually a lot easier than it looks, and you can do it all day because the only card you need to control is the two. So you've got the Two of Spades on top after you've shuffled it, and at this point, you can do a false cut, like the swivel cut flourish, as I mentioned before, leaving their card on top. The whole point of all this is to tell them and to reassure them that their card is somewhere in the center when really you're controlling it to the top. Now this is where the actual snap change comes in. What you're going to do is you're going to distract them using some eye contact and get yourself a break under the top two cards like this, a flesh break. Because if you make it a full pinky break, it makes it a little more obvious what's going on. But if you just use a ring finger or a pinky flesh break, keep it like this, you're gonna be set. Now what you're gonna perform here is another double lift. So you're gonna take the top card, which is not obviously their card, and you're gonna hold it like this. Now for the snap change, it's a little bit of hand placement and a lot of eye contact and a lot of angles. So the problem with the snap change is you can't really perform it when people are all around you. You can only perform this one if you have maybe one or two people standing directly in front of you. And that's very important because otherwise people will see how this trick is done. Now from the side, I'll show you what it looks like. kind of like this. So from the front, you can't see it. From the side, you can. Now how this works is you're gonna take your pointer finger, your middle finger, and your thumb, and that's the only three fingers that you're gonna need in this trick. Now I'm using my right hand because I hold the deck on my left hand, so follow along in the opposite way if you hold the deck in your right hand. For all you left-handed deck holders, you're gonna hold the cards where the number is, okay? Like this. If you're in the opposite way, you're gonna hold the cards where the non-number is, where just the empty space is, okay? Now at this point, you're gonna take your pointer finger and your middle finger, and you're gonna lay them right at the edge, right on the edge. Now I have big fingers, so of course it's gonna stick out a little bit, but you're gonna put them right here on the corner. Now your thumb is gonna go on the exact opposite corner. And by that I just mean on the other side, not on the actual opposite, but just on the other side, same corner is what I meant to say. You're gonna hold it like this, and you're ready to go. You gotta square it up with your person, or in this case, my camera, and you're going to perform the snap change. Now here's the actual logistics behind the snap change. It's a little bit easier than it seems, and you'll probably pick it up pretty quick, but you're gonna use your middle finger and start sliding. Now your pointer finger is also gonna start sliding with it. Now this is where it gets a little bit trickier. You're gonna slide the cards continually, but when your pointer finger starts touching that 2 or whatever the card is, you're going to let go of the 7. I mean, you're still pinching it with your middle finger and your thumb, but you're gonna let go with your pointer finger, so you have like this, and you're going to then switch the pivot from your thumb, which is holding on, it's pinching the middle finger card, you're gonna switch that with your pointer finger. So you've got the pointer finger and the thumb now pinching a card, while this middle finger is now pinching the card between, obviously, your middle finger and the palm, or the side part of your palm. So it should be holding it like this. Let me show you that again. So you have your hand placement, your pointer finger and your middle finger and your thumb. You're gonna start sliding your middle finger. Your pointer finger is gonna go with it, but at the point where your pointer finger starts to touch, like the 7, let's say their card's a 7, the point at which your pointer finger touches the 7 or their card, you're going to drop your pointer finger out of it and grab the 7. You're going to switch the pinch with your thumb. So your thumb is gonna pinch the entire time, but it's going to switch the pinch. It's a little bit confusing, but like I said, if you practice, you will nail it very quickly. So you're pinching between, I mean, technically all 3 fingers are pinching the one card. Let's put that in quotes, one card. But once you start doing this, you're still pinching with your middle finger, but it switches to your pointer finger once your pointer finger touches the back card. So at this point, you keep apply a lot of pressure with your middle finger so that it can stay pivoted here, or pinched between your middle finger, obviously, and the palm of your hand down here. The rest of it is just holding on to this top card. So here I'll show you guys the personal view of what the snap change looks like. Like I said, you have your thumb in the back, you have your pointer finger and your middle finger up top, just like this. You're going to pull down with your middle finger, applying pressure. Your thumb, technically at this point, is already pinching that top card with the pointer finger. And in fact, your thumb should be pinching that card at this point. That moment when this card comes in contact with your pointer finger, you make the switch and use your middle finger to continue the continue the pinch, and to pinch it between this part of your hand right here, the extra part of your palm, or the side part of your palm is what I meant to say, and then your pointer finger and your thumb are still pinching that second card. Now when you show this to your spectators, they're not going to be able to see this, hopefully, if you have them straight up in front of you. If you have them on the side, it's going to be a little bit different. Of course, they're going to see something. And of course, like I said, you're going to want to do this to maybe like one person at a time and make sure they're straight up with you. Now something I like to add a little bit extra to them, if you like to do something like this or to flick the card, so instead of just making the change, okay, you would do something a little different, like, now watch what happens when I flick. And what you're doing at that point is just pinching both ends here, and right when you let go of that pinch, you perform the snap change. That's what it looks like when it's real quick. Now hopefully this card isn't sticking up too much. You want it to be pretty level and pretty perpendicular with the other card, but make the change. And then the cleanup is actually pretty simple. There are two ways you can clean up the cards. One, and what I like to do, is to square the cards in my hands and to put them in the deck very quickly. So it would look like, it would look like this. Let me get the focus. There we go. Make the change, square them up, and put them on top of the deck very quickly. You do it so fast that they're not gonna see it, so it's gonna be like, change, put on the deck. Now another way you can do it, if you're just watching one person, you make the change, you say, this was your card, right? And they freak out, and when you're doing that, you grab the card with your thumb. So you say, this was your card, right? And they're like, oh my goodness. Steal that card, and then just show off that you've got one card. Put it back on the deck, do a little fancy Charlie cut, whatever you want to do. And yeah, that's the snap change. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and I really hope you learned something. Speaking of which, if you like this video, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps me out, and I appreciate it so much, guys. And don't forget to check the description box so you can see my Facebook page. So you can stay up to date on all things J Nation. And never forget to subscribe, because then you'll miss a video if you don't. I'll catch you guys on the next Sleight of Hand 101. Peace, I'm out.